Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all having a really terrific day. Well, I thought today that we would just paint and very little talking, just another pretty painting. This one will be this drawing, excuse me, that I have here with watercolor and be a lot of wet on wet, along with the, I'm trying to make sure I have everything in the camera here. I don't do very well at that, so so with further ado, we're just going to, and I hope I don't wiggle the camera too much. It's in a position that I don't normally have it in, so I'm just going to hope that this all works out. So we're going to, this part here, the branches, those will be more wet on dry, so to speak. But the bird will do, will probably do the wet on wet. So I'm going to get some brown and some, I may have to turn my colors around here. They're turned in a different way. Here we go. And we're just going to get this, this branch done first. And what I'm going to be also doing is I'm going to be having some acrylics, which will end up being, whoop, hopefully we don't wiggle the candle, which I usually use, which is the yellow, the white, it's lemon yellow, titanium white, Indian yellow, and what's the other one? A violet. And sometimes I just use those within my watercolor, which works really well. So right now we're just taking a round brush. This will be done mostly in round brush, maybe a flat brush, I'm not sure, but mostly round. And so with that information, I'm going to stop talking and just paint, okay? I may chime in here and there just to say a few things going on, but that's about it. So let's get painting. The other reason for that is because my allergies are crazy. So I'm trying to not deal with crazy allergies at the same time. Mainly the yellow that you see me use will always be the acrylic with the watercolor, unless I specify differently. hands are a bit shaky this afternoon because I've had coffee. It doesn't take much coffee for me to get shaky hands. That's why I don't drink it very much. Or that's why I can't drink it very much. So pardon the shakes every now and then. Just the way it is. Okay. I'll be varying the grains as usual. Excuse the sniffing. My allergies are not so good right now, and I've taken all that I can take. So hopefully all of you will just bear with me. Now it's entirely up to the person whether they want to add the veins in the leaves. You don't have to. Up to you. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's kind of cold where we are. It's just been staying cold, rainy, cold. So we guess the spring will literally be spring weather eventually, I guess. I'm trying not to move this board. I got this board, which is a cool board to hold my watercolor paper the other day at a little secondhand shop. Works really good for me, but trying not to move it too much. It seems to want to slide on this table. It doesn't on the other table, but on this particular table, it seems to want to do that. And I love these points on some of these brushes. They just do such a nice job. That's a cool color. Add a little bit of green in with that. Oops, okay, well that came out a little different, but that's okay. I love to vary up my leaves. They can be almost any color, and that's okay. You're the painter. Remember that. Always remember that. And then, whoops. And don't stick your paintbrush into your thing of water, which I almost just did. Oh, you get to laugh at yourself these days. At least I do. Not take life too seriously. Try to blend it with each thing that goes on. Give it to the Lord. And try to keep smiling, right? I've found that to be a huge key in my life, to just keep smiling. No one, has to know what's going on with you. You have your people that you want to share for prayer and just to talk to. But nobody, it's always better to just put all these things to the right people and not just any old person that will listen, right? Right. Okay, well, I think I need to get these a little bit of some lighter yellow on the, well, that's not what I want. Okay. Let's see. These would be closer to the light source. So these ones here we're going to have make quite a lot lighter, just because of that reason. I'm going to put some orange into some of this and get some of the orangey leaves going on. And again, I'm on dry paper, so you're not seeing a bunch of watercolor blends and watercolor mixing, because I'm not on wet paper. Not yet. We will be, but not yet. Haven't gotten that far yet. And this may be just part one. I'm quite positive that this will only be part one, because it's the birds. We still got the bird, and the bird will take a while, so that's okay. We can do 2 parts. No harm, no foul. Becoming one of my favorite sayings, I guess. And I'm working on hot press paper. That is why, if it shows, I'm not sure if you notice that, but it feels like when you work with hot press paper, it feels like you're painting on like pudding or something. It's just so cool. I love I like hot press paper the most. Hot press is expensive, more expensive I have found. And I'm kind of getting to the bottom of my my watercolor paper at the moment. So I'm using backs of some of my watercolor paintings that I've already done, and that's fine. And I use watercolor grounds. I did order some, but they're on the way. It won't be here for a while. So we use what we have, right? At least I do. We just use what we have. With watercolor grounds, in using watercolor grounds, what I'm trying to say, you can work on other kinds of surfaces as well. Water grounds will cause whatever other surface you use to accept the watercolor. So it's a really cool thing, I think, actually. Certainly is helping me in these areas for sure. Kind of go like that. Well, it's coming out good so far, I think. Looks good. Okay, we're going to add some reds to some of these colors, but I don't want to. No, that's not really the color I was looking for. Okay, so what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to take the paint off, come back in. Well, that's not coming off as well as it should. Interesting. Every paper, I swear, works differently. It's like you never quite know unless you use the same paper, same kind of paper all the time. But I don't always use the same kind for purposes, of course, of expense. And just whether I can get it or not is the other, part of it. So we do what we do, what we're able to do. That's where the grounds, because some of these papers that you get just for these, I'm not doing a paint. This is a regular painting that anybody's asked for. So this doesn't have to be super expensive paper, plus it doesn't have to be super expensive paper anyway. But the better the paper, the better it is to work on. That is true. But the water grounds do help make everything better in that area, I found. So kind of helps that whole issue along. Which I'm glad I found them. I saw them. I don't even remember, where I got that from. Somewhere in my watercolor learning. Which I hope you're all doing. I hope you're all, getting something, some paper, all you need, when you first start out to, find out, am I interested really in watercolor? Do I really want to do it? Because you might, I don't think for the most part, but there are some people who, they get started with it and then they say, no, it's not for me. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But instead of spending a whole lot of money to find that out, you can buy the less expensive papers. And they even have, what do you call them? Canvas. And they actually have other types of paper as well. So it's just checking things out, seeing what you can find. I know I still have some canvas paper, I think. So every once in a while, I like to do the acrylic. That's what I did for 40 years or more. But every once in a while, I like to just do a little acrylic. I don't have much. I didn't keep much on purpose. And instead of a expensive, unless of course somebody asked me for a painting, which I've done quite a few times, but I mean, if it's just for me, for, practice, or just because I want to do some acrylic all of a sudden, it works great. Canvases are pretty expensive, so if all that is for me. And it's not a gift. It's not a, can't think of the word. Well, when you're asked to paint for someone. My mind's gone blank there. You know what I mean. Anyway, but then you don't need that kind of expense. You need to spend that kind of money. Everything is so ridiculous today in prices anyway. We're all struggling, So, all right, I do believe that, I think I will take a very light, some of these very, very light, kind of scatter like it's just a hint of the veins. You don't need to see them. And if you want to put them in and you want to see them, then go for that. It's all up to you. Okay. The acrylic yellow that I'm using with my watercolor green does give a little different effect. And that's just, going to have to be whether you like it or not for yourself. I happen to like it, so I use it quite often. And I also, like I just added in some Indian yellow up here. So, I mean, it's all in preference. You might not like it. You might like it. It's all up to you. Up to you. Okay, and then we want to make sure we have some. Whoop. I think I better move that thing of water. It's twice now. I've almost dunked it in. I caught it in time, but well, this paper is certainly not allowing me to pull up the color. I don't know why that is. But anyway, we just keep going. Just keep going. And the white. I also use acrylic white. So these whites here that I'm dabbing in, that's acrylic white. I have watercolor white, but I happen to like the way it looks with the acrylic white. And as I often say, it's my painting. Just don't fall into the thing where people, oh, you can't do that. You can't use it. What is an artist if they don't, experiment and see what they can come up with, what they can do? I mean, no, just don't listen to people like that. Okay, now what we're going to do now is it's going to be a little more of the wet on wet. And what I'm going to be doing here is dabbing my brush with the wet. And then we're just going to add a whole bunch of lilac-y colors. So I'll be back. Because I want plant a little more. I want the lilacs to be a bit on the wet on wet style. That's why, just in case you were wondering. And if you weren't, well, you just found out anyway. Well, I'm in one of those moods today, folks. I don't know. It's a good mood, so that's always good. Whoops. How far down I want to take this? I guess that'd be good right like that. That's pretty. Very, very, it's coming real nice. Lilacs. I love lilacs. I used to have them in my yard where I lived before I had to move. Here where I am is some beautiful grounds, but I haven't seen any lilacs, which I kind of miss. But that's okay. Life changes. Things go on. Life changes. It's very beautiful here, but no lilacs. At least not yet. You never know. Every once in a while I see something added here or there, so you never know. That's coming out really nice. I'm liking it so far. How about you? Okay. And I wanted to have the depiction of two lilac areas. So I think the birds here, I probably should have put the bird a little bit further up, but that's okay. We'll just come over here and we'll make our own little, I hope you can all see what I'm doing in the camera okay without a bunch of trouble. It looks good to me when I look at it, so I'm going to assume it is. I'm going to just assume that it is. And I like to get some of the mauve color in there as well. So it's kind of a pinky coloring into the lilacs. Yeah, it's definitely afternoons. I've been trying to figure out when I go to do things why I talk slower and seem to stop in the middle of sentences, and I'm noticing it's a lot in the afternoons, so definitely has to do with afternoons. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sure we can all survive and deal with it. I'm sure it's not a big problem, or I should certainly hope not. Okay, that is nice. I like it very much. And you know what? How long is my video? Yeah, I'm trying to keep my videos under 25 minutes or less. And I think, whoops, I forgot I had that on there. So we're going to dab a few more little places here, and then this is going to be it for number one. And the bird and whatever else I decide to add will be part two. So I really hope I'm probably going to take, here I go again. I get a kick out of myself. I get ready to stop a video and I see this and that, and then and of course this will be part one, so I don't want to end quite yet because I still have a couple things. I wanted to add some yellow, a little more yellow here and there. Okay, that's good. That's good. I promise that's good. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I think it's going to be nice. I think it's already coming out nice. And this will be part one of hummingbird and lilacs. So the part two will also say part two, hummingbirds and lilacs. Slow down the video, speed it up, whatever you have to do. Watch it 1,000 times if you have to. I can't tell you how many times I watched videos and my learning of watercolor and practice. You don't have to do the whole thing. Just pick a part of it that you want to that you want to do, and just a couple of places where I want some really deep. And this is the acrylic. Okay, there we go. And that's it. Very few places, but I did want it in a couple places. So just do whatever you can do. Try. I do hope you're all trying to do some of the watercolor. If nothing else, throw some water on the paper, throw a paint, and just see what it does. That alone will kind of help and show you what watercolor is all about. And then go from there. You probably have a beautiful painter hiding within yourself that you don't even know about. So have a wonderful, great rest of your day, folks. Check out my other tutorials, and bye for now.